Today we're going to talk about Sumer, one of the earliest civilizations to exist. So it's located down in the mouth of the Tigris-Euphrates rivers. As you see, it's between these two rivers. Mesopotamia is a place where cities grew, and as you see, as the name suggests, Mesopotamia is located between the two rivers Tigris and Euphrates. It's located in the Middle East and is surrounded by desert. People came to Mesopotamia because of the soil, and so they could farm. There's where it is. There's where it is here. If you look, modern day Iraq, modern day Iran, okay, and over here you got Israel, Lebanon. Up here would be Turkey. But if you look, there's the city of Ur. This is where in the Bible, this is where Abraham is when the Babylonians or the Amorites attacked them. So Mesopotamia is located in what is now called the country of Iraq. As you see, Mesopotamia is part of a larger region called the Fertile Crescent. All right, this area stretched from the eastern edge of the Mediterranean Sea down to the Persian Gulf, and it's shaped like a crescent, like an upside down crescent. The shape is similar to a crescent. We think crescent roll, things like that. So the Cradle of Civilization here, as you see, Mesopotamia is located in the Middle East, which is located in Southwest Asia, okay, as we've discussed, which we really haven't, but it's in what we call Southwest Asia or the Middle East today. It's also known as the Cradle of Civilization because the first civilizations began to spring up here more than 5,500 years ago to around 3,500 years ago. So, many of these city-states formed along the Tigris and Euphrates River in Mesopotamia, and as you see, they each had their own form of government, and the people worshipped different gods and goddesses. Eventually, each had their own kings. The region where the two rivers meet is known as Sumer. These people who lived in Sumer and the Sumer region were called Sumerians. If you look, it would be right in here. So why did these cities develop? As you see, the fertile soil, food surpluses. And of course, people who have this stuff want to keep it. People who do not have this stuff want to get it. And so that's why we had the development of cities and walls to hold out invaders, because the whole area is pretty flat. So they have to rely on clay bricks, and they have to build walls to protect their cities and their food supplies. As you see, Sumerians were the first writing began with the Sumerian cities. The first schools were set up in Sumer about 4,000 years ago. These schools taught boys the new invention of writing. Those who graduated became professional writers called scribes. Scribes were the only people who kept records for the king and the priests. So boys that wanted to be scribes had to attend school from about ages 8 to 20. And as you see, once again, this is where they were. These are all city-states in the Sumerian civilization. So they use this thing, the sharp point called the stylus, to etch into clay tablets. As you see, these tablets have been discovered by archaeologists and looked at by historians. So the Sumerian city streets, as you see, were very narrow. You could hardly get a cart through them. As you see here, they're very narrow streets. Sumerian houses faced away from crowded streets. Instead, they faced onto courtyards where families ate and children played. So on hot nights, people slept outdoors on top of their houses because they built their houses with flat roofs. Sumerians had a form of light at night. They burned oil lamps. Sumerians even had plumbing. They had clay pipes that they buried underground to carry their waste away. Inventions like plumbing wouldn't have come around for another 1,000 years in other parts of the world. So their religion, they worship many gods. They were polytheists. Make sure you know what polytheism is. That's a term. It means to worship many gods. You need to know what a ziggurat is, and this is a picture of one. This is their temple. Ziggurats were the main temples used for worshiping their gods. In the cities, ziggurats were built in the centers of cities, and they had steps and ramps. As you see here, they believe that the gods descended to earth using the ziggurat's ladder. So Sumerian myths and stories explain people's beliefs. Sumerians believed that people, or that a person could keep the gods happy by going to the ziggurat and praying to them. They believed that the gods would reward them for their service. They also believed that the gods would punish them, or would punish the people who made them angry. So the downfall of the Sumerians, basically, you can read through this, but constant warfare between each of these Sumerian city-states. They became weak, and they never united. That's going to be a problem for Sumer. They had 12 city-states, and these 12 city-states all fought one another. They didn't unite. They fought one another. So eventually it says here the Babylonians, aka, you need to know these Babylonians, the Obs, the original Babylonians, these are the Amorites. And these are the Babylonians that are going to come in and force Abraham into the desert with his wife Sarah.